As you can see, I'm not in my usual setup. I am here in Arenal near the volcano. I'm actually on the dead volcano, Cerro Chato, for a couple days, and I wasn't really going to do any videos, but I got up this morning and saw that somebody had talked about a certain Duggar having food insecurity. And I'm not going to have a long rant. I'm just going to very quickly say what I have to say and get off because I'm going to be late for breakfast if I don't. If you ever come to Arenal, this place is my all-time favorite. It is called the Arnall Falls Lodge now, and it's pretty fabulous. So if you ever have to stay here, I'm staying in one of their cheaper things, their little bungalow. And as you can see, it's a self-contained little house. So I love this place. I usually get to stay in the villas, and it's very luxurious, but they're booked solid, and we decided the very last second that we were going to take a several-day vacation. Okay, I have my coffee, and I'm going to talk very quickly about food insecurity in Quiverfull. It's not unheard of. In fact, I would say it is a feature, not an exception. I know so many families in Quiverfull that had such bad food insecurities in the time that I knew them that if it wasn't for the food pantry and food stamps, if it wasn't for the food bank in Richmond, Virginia, they would go hungry. I knew so many families that lived on rice, noodles, and, what you would call inexpensive foods. And I have nothing but sympathy for that because when I was in college, it was like ramen, ramen, ramen. Ramen with a little bit of diced vegetables and meat. Ramen fixed this way. This is back before ramen was fancy. So um, this is a feature, not an exception. And to mock somebody for that is cruel. It just is quite cruel. I could tell the tale of one family I knew that had pretty bad food insecurity that I've got to move this because these lights are making me a little crazy. These windows have a lovely view of the rainforest area we're in right now. So I knew a family that took to showing up at my house right around dinner time, at least 2 or 3 times a week. They would always show up, and there would always be the same thing. Oh, you're about to eat dinner. And there were hints thrown out, oh, we don't have money for food. So many times I fed them over about a several month period. And finally I just said, enough, you've driven my food bill up by about 2/3. And I actually approached the pastor and said, look, so and so doesn't have money. They're not feeding their kids. They're showing up at my house all the time. And that was the first time I ever really slammed up against the food insecurity that I later learned was kind of endemic for our church and most of the Quiverfull families. And when you have a culture that says mom cannot work for any reason whatsoever because only men work, and the men they work for themselves. Most of the time, they won't work for anybody else. A lot of them are not educated. They don't know how to run a business. They don't know how to effectively run a business. They don't know how to do any of this stuff, but they're doing it. They're trying, and they're not succeeding. So the whole family ends up on food stamps, WIC, the USDA food program giveaways, the government cheese, and it just continues on. The Duggars' advice to buy used and say the difference is not good if you don't have money. If you have no money, then telling somebody that is the way to live their lives is it's elitist and ableist because it assumes you're having some small amount of money coming in. A lot of these families are in dire circumstances. I used to see at our church every Sunday we started doing a Sunday kind of, I don't want to say meal because it wasn't meant to be a meal. It was a like a snacky thing. And the snacky thing was supposed to be like cheese, crackers, sweet rolls, all sorts of just like little things. I observed. I could almost tell you to a man which families had the food insecurities by the number of children came up and just gorged, just ate like they hadn't eaten in months. And it was just all kinds of heartbreaking. All kinds of heartbreaking. There are some things in life that are just basic necessities: food, shelter, medical care, and seeing people that don't have those things is just heartbreaking sometimes. And you do what you can, you give as you can to ease that and realize it's there. It doesn't become something that you mock somebody for, not at all. It never should be. Okay, you guys, I just want to rant about this a little while. The internet is not good enough here for me to do a live stream, so I'm going to upload this. Don't harass anybody I'm talking about today. And yeah, just don't harass anybody. And if you are a supporter of a certain other YouTuber and you're coming here to tell me how badly I suck, save it. I've lived the lifestyle this person has not, so I actually have a little more experience with all of this stuff. And that's why I'm talking about it. I'm not mentioning her name because I'm not going to do that anymore, but I am going to mention every time she does this horrible stuff. I'm tempted to turn around and show you the rainforest right in front of me right now. I'm looking out the window at the rainforest. This is the first time I've stayed in the not groomed garden area of this place, but this is actually kind of cool. It's very wild. Okay, do your own research on this. Look up food insecurity in the church, and there, I'm sure a bunch of stuff will pop up. I haven't started researching and writing this chapter of my book yet. It is upcoming. I'm going to talk about my experiences with the family that showed up on my doorstep and the many other families and what I watched them endure when they were going through food insecurity. It's just wrong. It's just evil to laugh at that and make fun of it. Just so many heartbreaking situations going on right now in the world. I just feel kind of exhausted. That's why I'm here. I need a couple days to just completely decompress. Love you guys.